Hallelujah. She lent it to me for 3 months.
She wrote that thing all over the hospital, like when she was working. Even after she was well.
Well, it's so easy and you go really fast.
That's right.
Okay, let's see here. Is it 11? Is it 11?
You're good.
Can I go ahead? It's much more effective than I thought. Good morning. I'm so glad you're in here and not out there. And I bet you are too. On behalf of the worship committee, I would like to welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia. I'm Pat Moore, and our minister is Reverend Stephen Robinson. We'd like to remind you to stay connected with our community by keeping an eye on the following communications. You've got recurring events in the order of service. You've got information about upcoming events in our weekly newsletter that's mailed every Thursday. We warmly welcome families with children, and we offer childcare during our service for children up to 4 years old. Families with children ages 4 to 7 are invited to use our designated seating area, which is right back there. Quiet toys from the back of the social hall are welcome there. And today, after the story for all ages, children's 4 to 8 can go to their CYRE classes. I think, is that still true? Okay, thank you. And today's flowers were donated by the UUCC flower team. They are the worst for wear because I took them home and left them overnight, and I don't know what happened, but anyway, I think they're still okay. Would you please right now silence all your devices so we can center ourselves on today's services and listen to the prelude.
I'm pleased to invite Cliff Sheely forward to sing Hope by Jason Robert Brown.
It's on, okay. I come to sing a song about hope. I'm not inspired much right now, but even so, I came out here to sing a song, so here I go. I guess I think that if I tinker long enough, one might appear. And look, it's here. One verse is done. The work's begun. I come to sing a song about hope. In spite of everything ridiculous and sad, though I'm beyond belief, depressed, confused, and mad. Well, I got dressed. I underestimated how much that would take. I didn't break until right now. I sing of hope and don't know how. So maybe I can substitute strength because I'm strong enough. I got through lots of things I didn't think I could. and so did you. I know that's true. And so I sing a song about hope. Though I can't guarantee there's something real behind it, I have to try to show my daughters I can find it. And so today, when life is crazy and impossible to bear, it must be there. Fear never wins. That's what I hope. See, I said hope. The work begins. So maybe we can substitute strength because we're strong enough. We got through lots of things we didn't think we could. I know that's true. I know that's true. And so we sing a song about hope. Though we can't guarantee there's something real behind it, we have to show our daughters we can find it. And so today, when life is crazy and impossible to bear, it must be there. Fear never wins. That's what I hope. See, I said hope. The work begins.
Hope, the reason we're all here today. Thank you, Cliff and Anna. Beautiful. If you'd now please rise in body and spirit and join me in the congregational covenant in your order of service. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant with one another. Thank you. Welcome again. Unitarian Universalism is a diverse and non-creedal religion. Our community is founded on deeds, not creeds. We're a covenantal religion, meaning we don't have to believe the same in order to treat each other the same, with respect, equity, compassion, and dignity. We place love at the center of our values, embracing and welcoming all people. And we're delighted today to welcome all of our guests and visitors. If you are willing and able, please stand and wait for the microphone to reach you. George Johnson, our president, is fulfilling his most important duty, which is to take the microphone around. If you'll introduce yourself, share your name and where you're from, and if you've brought guests, we invite you to introduce them as well. Do we have any visitors or guests today?
I am kind of a visitor.
Well, if you're kind of have it.
My name is Nancy's sister. Sometimes they call me Sandra. And yeah, I live in Greenville. I used to live in this area. That's why I'm kind of a visitor. And I came here because I'm Nancy's sister. But I also like the UU. I love the UU, and I attended for a while the UU up in Greenville, so it's a beautiful church. I haven't been as I know Goof. It's called Goof, which is a great name. So, anyways, UU, yay! And Cliff, you just sing the song. Oh, yeah. Let's hope.
Good morning. My name is Robin Pease, and I relocated here 2 years ago from Corvallis, Oregon. I came here for my work, which is at the University of South Carolina, Columbia campus, as the organizational ombud for staff. So this is my second time here, and I appreciated the first time, so now I'm back.
I think that's it. Welcome, Robin and Nancy's sister. Thank you for being here. And if you'd like to know more about UUCC, there are visitors cards in the pockets in front of you. And if you fill one out, we'll email you and get you on our newsletter list. Today, our chalice lighter is Richard McLeod, who most of you know is the DJ for most of our events. He has been here, he and Linda have been here since 2013 when they joined. They've been here 13 years. Spirit of light and life coming to us.
I invite you to rise and body or spirit to join in singing hymn number 95, There is More Love Somewhere.
Thank you. You may be seated. ask the children to join me down front for the story for all ages. Good morning. We've got a couple more coming down. How are you all doing today? Yeah, good. Today, our story is more of a story that we tell for an entire month. A month-long story. That's a long story, right? You should tell your parents that you want a month-long bedtime story. Then you get to stay up really late. Matter of fact, you can stay up late. Probably don't have school tomorrow, right? No? Anybody know what Monday is? All right. All right. We know. There we got it. We got it. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That's exactly right. It is a day that we celebrate the life and the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. We're going to have some events here in Columbia that you can either go to or watch on the TV where we remember his life and the way that he taught us to love and to have peace and to treat everybody with that kind of love in our lives. So one of the things we do here at the UUCC, that's right. One of the things we do here is we celebrate his life for an entire month. I know we only do it for one day, it seems, but we celebrate his legacy and his love, his call to love for an entire month. So today starts what's called 30 Days of Love. 30 Days of Love that ends on a very special day in February. I bet you can guess what it is, a day in February that kind of the theme is love and hearts. Valentine's Day, that's exactly right. All right, so every week, you can do this at home with your parents, but every week there's things that you can read, videos you can watch. There's things that activities that you can do as a family to learn about how we show love. I bet you have some pretty good ideas right now. What are some ways that you know that you can show love over the next 30 days? Got any ideas? How can you show love? Help someone, that's right. Any other ideas? Nope, no ideas? No ideas? Well, what about the big people out there? I think they can give you some good ideas. Let's give them 3 good ideas of ways that we can show love. Anybody out there? Shout it out. Be kind to everybody. Be kind to everybody. That's a good thing to do, right? Yeah, we don't see that all the time today. All right, so. Oh, ask someone to play with us. You know, I'm not doing anything for the next few minutes. So I can go and play, be helpful. Let's hear one more out there from the older folks. Hugs. Oh, that's a great way to show love. If you find somebody that looks like they need a hug, and if it's okay with them, ask them and give them a hug and let them know that you love them. So I ask you for the next 30 days until we come back here and celebrate Valentine's Day that you think about love every single day. And that is the best way to remember the story and the life and the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you all for coming down this morning. Good morning. Good to see all of you today on this rainy Sunday. I am Stephen, also known as Anna's assistant. Yeah, we always have to have our second name, right, Sandra? So this is, if you're new to the Columbia area, this is what snow looks like here in Columbia, so just so you know. When the forecast says snow, they just mean it's really cold rain. That's all it means. So you can obviously smell lunch that's cooking out there, so you know we've got some activities, and I think we're trying to raise some awareness for, what is it again, Sandra? Anybody know? Do you know? Nope, not the food. How about Sharon? You got it? If you look at Sharon's shirt, you got any ideas, Sharon? The mountain. All right, I promised Sharon I would give her a plug for the mountain there. There we go. So we invite you to a lunch afterwards, and we'll give you more information about that to celebrate the mountain. In the meantime, just know that the stronger the smells get, the shorter the sermon gets out there. Our opening words come from the person that we are celebrating, his life, his legacy today, and into tomorrow, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This comes from his sermon that's entitled, "Where Do We Go From Here?" He writes, "I'm concerned about a better world. I'm concerned about justice. I'm concerned about brotherhood and sisterhood. I'm concerned about truth. And when one is concerned about that, they can never advocate violence. For through violence you may murder a murderer, but you can't murder murder. Through violence you may murder a liar, but you can't establish truth. Through violence you may murder a hater, but you can't murder hate through violence. Darkness cannot put out darkness. Only light can do that. So I say to you, I have decided to stick with love. For I know that love is ultimately the only answer to humankind's problems, and I'm going to talk about it everywhere I go. And I say to myself that hate is too great a burden to bear, so I have decided to love. If you are seeking the highest good, the only way you can find it is through love." This time we create some space in our community where we light candles to celebrate our joys and our concerns with each other. We have usually 7 candles in our foyer that you can pick up. And if you have done that this morning to come and share a joy or concern, I invite you to down front to briefly do that and then place your candle here.
Kind of goes along with the theme of today's service, but this is a paid political announcement. Next, the forum next week will be on loneliness, so I hope some of you will come so I won't be lonely.
This is a candle of pain and joy. The pain of grappling with a serious and difficult contradiction. And the joy, perhaps, of someone offering a possible resolution to it. We've all grappled at one point or another, in some form or another, and dealt with the question, is in our pursuit of love, patience, fairness, tolerance towards our fellow human beings, do we ever draw a line, a boundary for that tolerance? What does tolerance really mean, exactly? The big, all-inclusive, all-inviting tent, should it have defined boundaries and limits to its inclusion? What if a fellow human being entering that tent threatens to destroy that very tent itself? As soon as one considers exclusion, one runs into a contradiction. The exclusion contradicts all-inclusiveness. I would like to quote here from Chris Hedges' book, American Fascists, Chapter 1. Here it goes. Unlimited tolerance must lead to the disappearance of tolerance. If we extend unlimited tolerance even to those who are intolerant, If we are not prepared to defend a tolerant society against the onslaught of the intolerant, then the tolerant will be destroyed and tolerance with them. In this formulation, I do not imply, for instance, that we should always suppress the utterance of intolerant philosophies, as long as we can counter them by rational argument and keep them in check by public opinion. Suppression would certainly be most unwise, but we should claim the right to suppress them if necessary, even by force, for it may easily turn out that they are not prepared to meet us on the level of rational argument, but begin by denouncing all argument. They may forbid their followers to listen to rational argument because it is, according to them, deceptive, and teach them to answer arguments by the use of their fists and pistols. We should therefore claim, in the name of tolerance, the right not to tolerate the intolerant. We should claim that any movement preaching intolerance places itself outside the law, and we should consider incitement to intolerance and persecution as criminal in the same way as we consider incitement to murder or to kidnapping or the revival of slave trade as criminal. This is the awful paradox of tolerance. There arise moments when those who would destroy the tolerance that makes an open society possible should no longer be tolerated. They must be held accountable by institutions that maintain the free exchange of ideas and liberty. A candle to the resolution of all the painful paradoxes. This is just food for thought. It's not the Bible. Just.
Hi, I'm Christina, and this is a candle of gratitude. A couple weeks ago, or not last week, but the week before, I found myself stranded at work when I lost power steering in my car, and I put out a help in the Dragon Boot chat. Matt was there in a few minutes because there was a sketchy guy walking around, and I wasn't sure if he was looking to see if he could help me or if he thought I was vulnerable. Matt was there awfully fast. Somebody else came, and another person stayed on the phone with me until someone got there to be with me. So thank you, Matt, for showing up, DJ for fixing my car, which he did, member of the tribe, and to Tabby for staying on the phone with me, and Sarah Emily, because of her, I had an interview with the John H. Neal Healthcare Collaborative Foundation. It was a good interview. I don't know if I got the job, but thank you, Sarah Emily, for your good word and your kind help and your help in getting me that interview. And Matt made me a sheath for my athame, so thank you, Matt, for that.
Listen to Christina talking me up like I'm a halfway decent fella. This is a candle celebration. About a year ago, a little over a year ago, one of the members of my kindred approached me and said that they were having troubles with addiction. Well, they came to me yesterday and said they haven't used their substance since January 5th. Now, for some people, that may not seem like a big deal, but if you've struggled with addiction, you know that's hard. So this is a candle of celebration, a couple steps on a journey to sobriety for this person.
Good morning, I'm Bud Ashley. First, I just want to say, from a mountain of despair, we will hew a stone of hope. That's one of my favorite MLK quotes. Today, I have a candle of joy. I know some of you probably noticed PK hasn't been with us for about a month. He was in the hospital for COVID for a couple of weeks. He got out, went into a rehab for his knee, and then all of a sudden he got sick again and he got put back in the hospital. But today, this morning, I got a call that he got moved to a step-down unit because he had his gallbladder removed. And so he's moved to a step-down unit, which means he's just probably a couple of days from getting out of there finally. So this is candle of joy that PK is doing better and he'll be back with us soon.
Buongiorno, I'm Bethany, and I know a lot of you think I'm gonna light a candle of concern about what happened at the state capitol this week, but I'm not. I'm going to segue off of Cliff, and I'm gonna talk about hope, because yesterday I went to a fantastic event over at the Lutheran Church of Reformation. They opened their doors. I walked in, there was about 75 of us that were making posters and banners and getting ready, not just for tomorrow's event, but Tuesday's event. It's a march, it's a rally, it's a stay home from work, it's a don't go shop day, it's a go to the state capitol. Andrew, come be with me, talk to me. Let me help you find hope, because hope is out there. So this is a candle for hope. Oh, and I almost forgot. I went to New York last week, and I got to spit on Trump Tower.
Thank you, Sister Bethany, and thank you, Cliff and Anna this morning. Let's hear it for our musicians. You brought me to tears this morning, but with tears in my eyes, I had a smile on my face because I too was at that meeting yesterday, and those 75 people, from toddlers to elders, were indeed singing a song of hope, and the work had begun yesterday at that meeting. And yes, and my joy is that I will be with, I hope, some of you tomorrow for MLK Day, and also as Sister Bethany have invited you as well to join us on Tuesday at 5 o'clock at the State House. We'll be rallying to stop ICE terror, and I encourage you on January 23rd, on a Friday, to keep your eyes on Minneapolis. They have called for a day of no work, no school, no shopping, a general strike until a day for truth and healing and reconciliation. So with my eye towards hope, I light this candle of joy and celebration. Yes. Yes, again, in Minneapolis, a group of churches, unions, and community groups have called for a general strike next Friday. And so on Tuesday, the point of the rally at the State House is to encourage everyone to keep an eye out and to support those workers and students who will be walking out, and everyone who will be taken to the streets until something changes. Thanks. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Sharon Gibbons, and I am the co-chair of the Social Action Committee, and I have been remiss for the past few Sundays, and I cannot let another Sunday go by without saying a huge, huge thank you to all of the members of this congregation who participated in the Families Helping Families activities that we had before the Christmas holidays. We did really good work helping people who are down on their luck and simply can't do the things that they would like to have done. I personally helped a young man with disabilities buy groceries. So these are things that we can still do without any problem, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
My name is Linda. I hadn't been here in a while. I've been coming here since the 80s. Maybe y'all can't believe that, but I have. I've been away because first it was my husband, then I went to the health crisis, and excuse me, I tried to do something good, and I got bad out of it. I wound up in the hospital I ring the bell for the Salvation Army and wound up with pneumonia. That's what they thought it came from. But anyway, I appreciate being back. I've been here for a while, and I want to keep coming when I'm able. Thanks.
Sorry, let me do it in a minute. I just want to say thank you. My name's Beth. Oh, sorry. I just want to say thank you for allowing us to join in the spirit of hope. It feels good to be in a space where people are hopeful and kind of anchored to that hope as a community. One thing that we've been doing that has felt hopeful is calling our representatives. And I wanted to share the resource called 5 Calls, which makes it very easy to do. So if you haven't heard of 5 Calls, look it up. It's a website where you enter your zip code, they immediately give you information for every one of your representatives and the issues that you want to contact them about. And they give you scripts and bullet points to make it very easy to do. And every day that we do it, which is Monday through Friday right now, it feels like an act of hope. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to get through that. And we really appreciate being part of this community.
The last candle that we light represents our silent joys and concerns. We have a meditation that we sing here often that just simply invites you to breathe in peace and breathe out love. And so I invite you, as we reflect for just a few seconds on what's been shared, that you breathe in that peace, breathe in that hope, so that we can, together as a community, breathe out that love. Anna's going to introduce our offertory song.
This morning's offertory is a selection of pieces, some of which may be familiar to you, that I'm calling Today's Love Medley.
I invite our ushers to come and receive our offering.
Love, prepare me to be a sanctuary. Hold me holy. Love me through.
We receive our offering today, symbol of our commitment to our good work. Thank you, Anna. Beautiful. As I shared with the children a few minutes ago, today kicks off our 30 Days of Love campaign, an emphasis that we have through the UUA every year, an emphasis that reminds us of our commitment to side with love and to spend an entire month focused on that. I think the times that we are living in, and based on our candles of community, then our longing for hope and our longing for justice in the midst of that, it is a very appropriate time for us to spend 30 days, to set aside 30 days to really re-ground ourselves in that commitment to love. The theme for this year is reimagining the world as it could be. An invitation for us to use our imagination to think about how the world could be different. Some are imagining a world today that actually ends up with a dystopian view of our society, but they are using their imagination and their dream to bring that world into being. They are trading out democracy principles for cult mentality, and they're using imagination and deception to justify atrocities in our world. And so our job is to take the work of imagination and be better at it than those who are trying to use it for not good. To use our imagination to imagine the world as it could be. That is a part of what hope is, that we are actually not drifting into despair, not allowing ourselves to move to a place where we feel powerless, where we feel hopeless, but we are actually closing our eyes and realizing that we have power in what we see and what we can visualize and bring about in the world. That is exactly what the speech that you will hear quoted so many times tomorrow was all about. I have a dream. I have the imagination that this world can be different than it is today. This is what the writer Bell Hooks described as radical imagination. In her book, Writing Beyond Race, she was writing that every movement of social justice is based on the ethic of love. And it's always important to say that love, of which Bell Hooks spoke of, is a political category, not a shallow mobilization of romantic affection. In this sense, I think it's her contribution to the political movements. That's the notion that mutuality is revolutionary and that it is only made possible through love. Mutuality is revolutionary. Hooks' work is one that invites us to practice transformative action, the work of radical imagination, the work of love, or creating the possible out of the impossible. I see her as having an inescapable desire to put an end to the world around us by creating a better world for us. She invited voices to the table that had wisdom, that knew how to survive and thrive in the midst of evil and overcome the catastrophe. She writes in that book, radical imagination is an act of refusal. It is a rebellion. Imagination does not bow to what is said to be unrealistic. Imagination remakes the world and has the revolutionary potential of reimagining the present and then inventing the future. When there seems to be no way out, the radical imagination summons us to create escape routes, map the catastrophe, and bring into the world what once seemed impossible. Radical imagination articulates the dream. It imagines a world and then gives a voice to that imagination. I have a dream, is what Dr. King said. Dr. King called it the American dream. He encouraged the listeners who stood in the sun with him that day in their march on Washington to reimagine the world as it could be. He said, go back to Mississippi, go back to Alabama, go back to South Carolina, go back to Georgia, go back to Louisiana, go back to the slums and the ghettos of the northern cities, knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. Imagination is not just a child's game. Imagination is the work that we have to do as adults, to think outside of the despair that we're living in and believe that we can bring about a world into being, to believe that we can actually impact change around us. And we have to listen for those voices that are articulating that dream and articulating that imagination. I had the pleasure over the past few weeks to read Dr. Jason Miller's book, a professor at NC State, who wrote a book entitled The Origins of the Dream. And he did a lot of research on the life of Langston Hughes and eventually wrote a biography, one that hadn't really happened in several decades, a biography of the poet Langston Hughes. In the book Origins of the Dream, he works on the relationship of Langston Hughes and Martin Luther King Jr. and the poetry of Hughes that informed the text of so many speeches of Dr. King. Fascinating life, the life of of Langston Hughes, a poet that came about, born in 1901, died in 1967, just a few months before the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. All the way up to 1960, he was a very popular man. As a matter of fact, in 1960, in Ebony magazine, he was on a huge page ad advertising Smirnoff vodka. No other poet has ever been on an advertisement for Smirnoff vodka. You know how popular you have to be to make it to that level? His life, his coming into being and being known nationally happened in 1925, even though he was beginning to introduce poetry. He had one poem about jazz that you probably have heard of before, right? His story about listening for jazz. He had a poem that he kept tucked aside because he knew it was really a pretty good work. And he decided in 1925 to present it for a poetry contest to Opportunity magazine. And 790 applicants applied and sent their works in, and he won the poetry contest. So he traveled from DC to New York City and was presented the award for the poetry contest of the year, the poet of the year for Opportunity magazine, among all of those who were gathered there. The person who read his award for him was James Weldon Johnson, the man who wrote Lift Every Voice and Sing. The next day, there was a newspaper in New York City that wrote the lines articulating what had happened in that event. And the words were, "Something is afoot here." There is a Negro Renaissance happening. From that, it later became known as the Harlem Renaissance. So if you ever wonder where that term comes from and know where that concept began, it is a story of not just literature and arts, but it is a political movement that was happening in New York. And of course, Langston Hughes is right in the midst of the heart and soul of that. He was known for giving a voice to the real world situations of African Americans living in the cities. Nevertheless, more than any other black poet or writer, he recorded faithfully all the nuances of black life and its frustrations all around the country. In his own words, his poetry, he said, is about workers, roustabout singers, job hunters on Lenox Avenue in New York, 7th Street in Washington, South State in Chicago, people up today and down tomorrow, working this week and fired the next, beaten and baffled, but determined not to be wholly beaten buying furniture on the installment plan, filling the house with roomers to help pay the rent, and hoping to get a new suit for Easter so that they can pawn that suit before the 4th of July. Hughes brought about a varied and colorful background to his writing. Before he was 12 years old, he had lived in 6 different American cities. And when his first book was published, he had already been a truck farmer, a cook, a waiter, a college graduate, a sailor, a doorman at a nightclub in Paris, had visited Mexico, West Africa, the Canary Islands, Holland, France, and Italy. He's also the first African American that was known to earn solely his livelihood from writing and public lectures. On one of those travels, Langston Hughes was carrying around a lot of books in his luggage and was tired after all of the places that he had been of carrying around those books. So I don't condone this, but this is what he chose to do to lighten the load of the luggage. He threw the books over the side of the boat into the sea. It definitely lightened the load. Probably not great for the environment and not great for books. I saw all the librarians out there cringe just now. But he kept one book in his luggage, and it was Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. And in that Leaves of Grass, Whitman says, "I hear America singing," and then Whitman goes through this litany of people in the United States that he hears singing, attempting to give a voice to all the people, rich, poor, everyone in life. And one of the things that Langston Hughes realized that he didn't mention African Americans. And he wondered, does Walt Whitman hear them singing? And so he wrote a poem that was, the subtitle of the poem is called the Part 2 of Walt Whitman's I Hear America Singing. He entitled it, I Too. And he writes, I too sing America. I am the darkest brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen. What comparably comes, but I laugh and not well, and I grow strong. Tomorrow I'll sit at the table. When company comes, nobody, I dare, says to me, eat in the kitchen. Then, besides, they'll see how beautiful I am, and they'll be ashamed. I, too, am America. President Obama did something that no other president had done before, dedicated an entire 18-minute speech to one poem, and it was this poem, I Too, when he dedicated the African American Museum of History in Washington, D.C. And on the wall of that museum, they decided after the dedication of it to put a huge entire wall of this poem. I too sing America. I too am America. They will see how beautiful I am. Believe it or not, critics often say that Hughes was not political enough. Often those comes from those who were condoning violence and violent resistance to what was happening, said that he was trying to empathize too much with all sides, all people that were involved. He wrote a poem once for a lecture in North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And in 1932, it was so radical, he published it the day before. And we're not talking about a day and age of TikTok and Twitter. He just published it a day before in Chapel Hill. And by the time he stood to read that poem and talk about it and lecture, he had to have police escorts because of the violent protests that were there. And he decided even it was too violent to read. Too not violent to read, but would incite too much violence to read. So I just think it's interesting when I hear someone say, yeah, Langston Hughes, he ignored politics. I don't think he did. I think he just was trying to give a voice. And there was another situation that happened in 1960. Somebody in the federal government decided that his voice needed to be silenced. And so he was silenced. He was labeled a communist. He was exiled from the communities of public speaking. He was forced to basically stop writing and publishing in the ways that he wanted to. And because of that, often we think We don't even think about Langston Hughes' life paralleling with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s. Jason Miller's book does a great job of saying Dr. King refused to let the voice of Langston Hughes be silent. Dr. King knew that to stand up like I'm doing today and quote Langston Hughes in the 1960s would have put an end to his ability to public speak as well. They would have stopped him. And so he just decided to lace every speech with a Langston Hughes poem. And it is fascinating. I encourage you to look at the work of Jason Miller. It is fascinating to see how King subversively brought an unvoiced poet every time he got behind a mic. The connection is there. It's beautiful to realize that that imagination of a world as the way it could be that Langston Hughes put out there, a way that it could be, is not silenced after all. If you were around Langston Hughes in 1960s, up until his death from prostate cancer in 1967, you may be feeling the same despair that we have felt today, thinking they have won, the voice is silent, the work is over. This man that was doing tremendous contributions to the poetic movement and the literature of society has been completely, almost made invisible to the world around us. But Dr. King knew that you cannot silence a songbird. You just keep bringing it to us over and over and over again. This is the job that you and I have. It is our job to imagine the world as it could be. If it's our mission for this flame of that imagination to transform our world around us with the warmth of love in our world, then our mission is to transform. And we have to ask our question then, what is fueling our imagination? The poets and the songbirds are all around us currently and in our history, and we just have to listen and give them a voice. The prophets are giving voice to the imagination, and we may have to even look for it on the subway walls to hear their voice. But what I do know, and it's very tempting, we can't trade in our values and our core beliefs for the cheap political rhetoric that becomes so loud in our culture today. We have to do the work of reimagining and not just responding. Let's concern ourselves not with winning, but transforming. And may we not lose our focus in these tumultuous times, but keep our eyes fixed on the beloved community that we know we can create with love.
Our closing song is by Fea Ora Rose Touré. She was a songwriter, playwright, poet, born in 1945. She founded 12 organizations dedicated to civil rights and racial justice, and was Alabama's first Black female judge. After she retired, she was arrested for civil disobedience, protesting construction of a Confederate monument. I invite you to rise and join me in singing. You do not have lyrics, you do not need them. It's a simple song I'm going to demonstrate once through and then guide you through. We can remember mutuality is revolutionary, honor our interdependence, see our community, embrace our responsibility to show up in support of one another and be held by the support that surrounds us. Please listen once through and then join me in singing. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. sister up, she is not heavy. If I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, I will fall down. Sister, I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. If I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, I will fall down. Brother, I'm gonna lift my brother up, he's not heavy. I'm gonna lift my brother up, he is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my brother up, he is not heavy. If I don't lift him up, if I don't lift him up, if I don't lift him up, I will fall down. Neighbor, I'm gonna lift my neighbor up, he's not heavy. I'm gonna lift my neighbor up, they are not heavy. I'm gonna lift my neighbor up, they are not heavy. If I don't lift them up, if I don't lift them up, if I don't lift them up, I will fall down. My people, I'm gonna lift my people up, they are not heavy. I'm gonna lift my people up, they are not heavy. I'm gonna lift my people up, they are not heavy. If I don't lift them up, if I don't lift them up, if I don't lift them up, I will fall down.
As I said, at some point tomorrow, I'm sure you're bound to hear the famous I Have a Dream speech from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So I want to share Langston Hughes' poem called I Dream a World. I dream a world where man no other man will scorn, where love will bless the earth and peace its paths adorn. I dream a world where all will know sweet freedom's way, where greed no longer saps the soul, nor avarice blights our day. A world I dream where black or white, whatever race you be, will share the bounties of the earth, and every man is free. Where wretchedness will hang its head, and joy like a pearl attends the needs of all mankind. Of such I dream my world.
Please join me in singing our congregational benediction.
If you can be seated for just a second, I believe Pat has a couple of announcements.
I
just have a few brief announcements if you'll hang with me because it's still raining out there. First of all, if you haven't heard about the construction project that we've got going back in the RE wing, what this is a construction done by the kids. And they may have to abandon it if they don't get more resources, which is to say cans. So when you go home today, go in and look in your pantry and get a bunch of cans and go put them in your car. That way next Sunday you'll have them, because next Sunday's the final one for drop-off. They're gonna have to cancel it if they don't get enough cans. And I want you to know that after they start deconstruction, all that stuff goes to Harvest Hope. So it's for a good cause. I have two quick other ones. One is that Social Action has a table in the lobby for you to write postcards to your legislators. That's very important, so check that. The other thing is they invite everybody to participate in the celebrations of Martin Luther King Day tomorrow. And if you don't know, there's a prayer service that starts at 8 at Zion Baptist down on Washington Street. That's where they start. Or you can go later and just participate in the march. And finally, one thing, as I stand here smelling the cooking, this is a fundraiser for our mountain retreat. It's a soup and sandwich dinner, lunch, so you can escape the rain just by staying a few minutes and having a lunch and putting some money into the donation basket. And if you don't have cash, they take checks. Let's go eat.
Next month I'll go to cousin weekend. My cousin from Michigan. We're all getting together. That's the third week of February.
When there can be a few different musical things that we could just set up to add to the.
That sounds fun.
Okay, thanks so much,
Take care.
Cliff.